Hello and welcome back to another episode of You Want to Do What? Today we've got Holly Smith on. She's an online personal trainer and accountability coach. Hi, Holly.
Hey Daniel, how's it going?
Pleasure. Thank you for coming on all the way from Australia.
Yeah, bit of an Aussie here.
Holly, let's jump straight in. Do you want to tell everyone a bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I own BizFit, that's my company. BizFit or Biz Fitness. Basically, it's an online personal training program for busy people. So all the meal plans, exercise programs, the coaching, the scheduling, everything that you need as a busy person to put yourself and your health first. That's one of the programs that I created, and I created that from, I guess, my past experiences through burnout and building the strategies to still be able to work long hours, be super busy, get everything done, but still look after your health. And then I'm also an accountability coach to, I guess, people who want to get from A to B in a certain period of time, but also want to hit those big dreams, goals, visions of theirs, and actually be held accountable to, and get the action steps every single week to get there, basically. Yeah.
Sounds great. I mean, I think these like online personal training and workout schedules are great. They're great little businesses, aren't they? And they're still very new, this kind of online coaching.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, I think I didn't even know what online personal training was like 4 years ago. I was like, what the
Mm.
heck even? I didn't even know how that works. And it wasn't until I personally hired coaches to show me how it all works that I was like, oh, this is so cool. How awesome is it that you can reach people all around the world um, and just help them? I think it's so cool.
It's brilliant. But how did you actually get into fitness and get into training?
Yeah. So all my life, like I was always like doing every sport under the sun as a kid. Like I was actually a really big equestrian. So I used to, do show jumping, dressage, all the horse riding stuff.
Mm.
But I was also a big swimmer, athletics, and everything like that. So I was always into sport growing up. But then when I got to 16, I kind of stopped all my sports, which means my metabolism was still like, keeping up with my athletic nature and all my sport, which means I put on quite a lot of weight. Not quite a lot, but for a 16-year-old girl who's also going through, changes in her body
Mm.
and stress and school and, trying to deal with everything, I got like super depressed, put on 10 kilos. Like I hated my life, got just, yeah, everything was really bad. um, and yeah, basically I left school. I got into the real estate industry.
Okay.
So I was there for about 15 months and I was doing everything. I was like door knocking for 2 hours up these massive hills. I was cold calling. I was running the whole office. I was doing everything and anything. And I was only getting paid like $11.50 an hour. So I was just working my ass off and just, trying to keep my head above water. Plus I was living at home because I couldn't live at home at the time. And then I had to get another job because I just couldn't afford it. So I got a PT job at F45 in the mornings and then at night as well. So I would literally wake up at like 4 o'clock, go straight to my first job, then go straight to my 9 to 5, and then go straight back to my PT
Wow.
job. And then I would go to the gym for an hour and train myself.
Wow.
This is all like 5-6 days a week. And then, yeah, I did that for a period of time. I lost 10 kilos, but I got so burnt out that I just couldn't physically, mentally, emotionally like
Yeah.
sustain it anymore. Right. And it was affecting everything in my life. Anyway, so I actually quit the real estate job and I basically started up my own PT personal training company. So it was a business actually. So I would go to people's houses and train them. And again, I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning. Sometimes I finished until
Wow.
8 p.m. at night. It was hectic and it was just like burnt me out so much that I couldn't walk for 4 weeks at Christmas time. My whole body just gave away. And I really do believe that, muscles keep, hang on to emotion.
Right.
So my body just full collapse. Like my knees were in flames. Like my calves were so tight. Like they were just, I would wake up with swollen hands and feet every morning. Like, and this is like, I was still working out and eating healthy, but I was burnt out. Like
Yeah.
that's physical. Like it went from mental, physical, emotional. I didn't have anything left in me, which meant at Christmas time, I was bedridden and I didn't have any income. So what do? All right, I have to think outside the box. So I was like, all right, well, I heard about online personal training and I was like, I can't really keep this up. So I looked around, hired a few coaches, was with a coaching company for about 15 months. They were really awesome. And I was doing really well. And obviously just starting out, you're trying to find a niche and everything. And obviously busy people, I always loved because I'd love to help. Basically after my little situation, I still worked, but I created the strategies to be able to still work long hours and get, you know, hit your health and fitness goals, but do it properly and do it in the right way. So that's when I came up with the idea of BizFit. So now I basically, yes, I have had a LinkedIn coach for ages, because basically my Facebook ads account got permanently disabled when the elections were on.
Oh no.
Last year. Yeah. So it wasn't just my ad, it was a whole account. So the only way you can really do that is if you really like create an account through like your parents or another person's account. And it was just too much. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's focus on just, you know, natural lead gen. And I went, someone was like, oh, why don't you try LinkedIn? Anyway, so that was it's actually a friend who's my coach basically. Anyway, but he gave me all the strategies and he helped me build, and shout out to Adrian Lee. He's really awesome. He's helped me a lot with my LinkedIn career, you could say. And then basically, yeah, created BizFit, and that's now like a BizFit Club is like a members portal. Where you get access to everything. And then I've got a wellbeing program and an accountability program. So that was a pretty long story to how I got into it.
No, what? Yeah, quite a story. I mean, I said before we jumped on that I've not really seen a personal trainer with your kind of LinkedIn strategy. I think it's really interesting, and it must be so, you know, because it's not as competitive as Facebook or Instagram, right? But you can also build a really good, especially BizFit, because that would fit with like executives and business people that want to stay fit, right?
That's
so it's really interesting.
It is interesting. And to be honest, all my clients are on LinkedIn, you know? And so the reason I'm not a huge fan of Facebook or Instagram, to be honest. I love my email list and I love LinkedIn. That it might, you know, and all my clients are on LinkedIn. All my leads come from LinkedIn, and they're all the exact people that I love to work with. And I'm also willing to invest. That's another really big thing. It's almost like just a different breed of people on LinkedIn. That's what I've found personally. And I do love, I don't mind Instagram and all that, but like I just love LinkedIn. I love I love the fact that people can have debates but still be positive about it. And there's a little bit of, you know, yarn and whatnot in the comment sections, but I don't really see them very often because most people are pretty positive, to be honest.
Yeah, I have to admit, we've recently sort of changed our strategy from Instagram towards LinkedIn. And it's definitely, I prefer it, to be honest, especially with what we do. It's interesting. But if you're if somebody's listening to this and thinking of becoming a personal trainer or going into the fitness world, online coaching is 100% the way forward, isn't it? Because like you said earlier, you can reach people all the way around the world. So you're not just competing for, you know, maybe your 20, 30, 50 clients in your small town where you're a PT. You can get clients all around the world.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the thing is, like, throughout doing that, you just meet so many awesome people. And I think connections on LinkedIn are like, it's like I see LinkedIn as like a world. Like if that was a logo, I see LinkedIn as a big world. And it's just so cool. You can just connect with so many like-minded people all around the world. And then, like, you know, you get to kind of experience different cultures, how they do things, what they eat, all sorts of stuff. It's just really interesting.
What do you think about qualifications with things like personal training and fitness? Because there are hundreds, aren't there? You know, if you're starting out, you don't really know where to go because you get dragged from pillar to post, come and do, you know, I don't know, spinning qualifications or kettlebells or whatever it be. But where would you start if somebody was thinking of getting into this?
Yeah, so I think there's actually a lot of online PTs who aren't actually qualified at all. So that's number one. You have to really be mindful that you do have a qualification. Not that people ask like, oh, where's your qualification? But it's just, I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, seriously, if you don't know what you're talking about in regards to the body and giving information to people, it's very dangerous legally. So what you need to do is I'm not sure what it's like in the UK and the US and stuff, but in Australia, we have to get our Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. So our Cert 3 in fitness is we are able to train people in a group environment. So a group trainer, like F45, Fit Stop, like, you know, CrossFit, like group environments, or, you know, circuits, that kind of thing. And your Cert 4 allows you to train people one-on-one. So if you want to do both, like, you know, group training and PT, then you do both. But I really would suggest that you at least get your Cert 4. which allows you to be qualified to give information. Another really good thing is to do a side nutrition course. Like, you don't have to become a nutritionist, but it just allows you to provide more nutrition information, because how it works is you can really only give advice, but you can't tell someone what to eat if you're not a nutritionist or a dietitian, right? So you've got to be really mindful with the information you're getting, unless you're giving a meal plan from a nutritionist or someone who's created it.
And how is it running your own business? How did you find it? Was it a slow start for you? And what was your how have you grown? What was your strategy?
Yeah, so I obviously got advice from people who have already done it. That's number one. And I've been doing that ever since the day I started the business. And I will continue to do that. Instead of figuring it all out on your own. You know what? If I did that, I would not be where I am today. So number one is find someone that knows what they're doing and has done it before and wants to, we want to reach where they've gone. And I guess I worked my ass off the first year I started my business. It was during COVID as well. COVID just started, and I didn't start the online business because of COVID. It just happened to be at the same time, which I'm grateful it did.
Yeah.
And literally for 12 months, I was just sitting, I was at my parents' house, or my mum's house, sitting on her kitchen, table, just 12-hour days, just figuring all this stuff out. What's happening, all this working on my own self, personal development, getting everything up and running. And it wasn't until probably a good solid 12 months that things started kind of looking up and go, wow, this has so much potential. And to be honest, it wasn't until I jumped on LinkedIn where I was like, wow, this is a whole different world. So I love running my own business, and I would never go back to working for someone else. And yeah, it's just, I love it. If you love what you do, then it doesn't really feel like work, I guess.
Sure. And what's an average day like for you?
Yeah, good question. So I'll wake up, let's just say average. I've been waking up at I'm still running between Brisbane and Gold Coast because I'm finishing off a little bit of work this year down there. Other stuff that I committed to. But on average, maybe I used to wake up at 4:30 every day when I was going through my bodybuilding prep.
Wow.
I was in bed by 8:30. It was such a strict schedule. But right now, I'm loving my life. Wake up at 6 o'clock, go straight to the gym, do an hour of gym work, come back, shower, coffee, sit down. Usually we'll have my first meeting. And then usually, to be honest, I'll have back-to-back meetings all the way, sometimes till 4 o'clock, sometimes till 7, sometimes till 6. It just depends on what day it is. But my morning routine is I really just like to get up and go to the gym, get up and do something for myself. Because when I was doing face-to-face PT, all I wanted was to be able to wake up and do something for myself rather than get up and go meet someone at their house at 4:30 in the morning. That's all I want.
It grounds your day, doesn't it? I'm the same. I get up at 6 and I go to the gym, and it just it grounds me, and you're ready for your day then.
That's right. And the thing is, with my body type as well, everyone's got a completely different body type. And once you actually know your body type really well, I know that at 6 a.m., the best time for me to wake up. And the thing is, my body type has to get going straight away. Otherwise, I don't function the way I need to. I could be, successfully. So for me, if I get up and read straight away, I'll fall back asleep. But if I get up, do something active, sometimes, you know what, on my rest days, I'll get up and I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll do 2.5 hours of the most deepest productive work I've ever done in my life.
Yes.
Those morning hours, I'm out of my office environment. 2, it's in the early mornings, and 3, I have coffee, which is kind of, I guess, to be honest, not the best habit, but my habit stacking is almond flat white, laptop, sit down, I can get productive work done.
It's funny, isn't it, when you talk about the most productive hours, because everybody's different. We've been sort of set this really draconian, 9 to 5, get your work done in those hours. I'll be honest, in the middle of the day, I am so unproductive. I just my brain kind of almost switches off and it goes foggy. But if I'm up super early, then I can just smash 2-3 hours out, or even, later in the evening, I can do another 4 hours of really, really productive work. But in the middle of the day, it's just completely, I'm useless.
Yeah, it's interesting, hey, because my body type's called an activator. So for example, I know my body so well that 6 a.m. wake up, get, cardio, or just get up and get going at 6 o'clock. My most productive hours are in the morning. My most creative hour, and I've actually been like assessing this, is 6 p.m. Weirdly enough, like I'm not joking. 6 p.m. I get this weird burst of creativity. But the thing is, I know that, so I've got to use that to my best of my ability.
Yeah.
So I'll get and work on a project, be creative, work on my website, blah blah blah, whatever I'm doing. And I know that between 1 to 3 o'clock, I'm really good for weight training. Even though sometimes I can't be stuffed in the afternoon, I know every time I do it, I have a really good session. So it's really interesting. And then 3 o'clock, I'm pretty unproductive.
It's very true. And for you, what's been the number one biggest positive for going into this industry?
The freedom. It's really interesting because I was, I don't know if you read my post, but yeah, I went camping like a few weeks ago, right? I hadn't been on a proper, like just no phone, no reception holiday for a long time, since COVID, right? And I've been away. Yeah, I've been away. I've had awesome like holidays, but I'm still answering people, answering phone calls, blah, 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 emails. And it hasn't been completely, switched off and defined the line. So I basically, went camping for 4 days, had no reception, which means I couldn't message anybody. First day, I'm not even joking, I was walking around like a lost person. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I was just I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. But you know what? By the 4th day, I felt amazing. And you know what? I came back, had so much clarity. Yeah. So what I realized was I started this online business, I guess, for my own freedom, and I wasn't even using it. So my favorite thing, the most positive that's come out of it, is freedom, not just financially, but I can do what I want when I want. Like today, I'm not even going to lie, I was like, because I live like in a place where we get access to like the resort, like the lagoon area, which is like a fake beach. It looks like Hamilton Island, basically. Anyway, but I was like, you know what? I don't have a meeting for an hour. So I'll go down there, have a bit of a sunbake. There's a bit of a party going on with like cocktail people around. Yeah. And it was just a vibe. And I was like, you know what? I'm so grateful that I can do this. And that's what the freedom of having your own business is, doing what you want, when you want, scheduling it when you want, and changing people's lives. So yeah.
Yes. Very cool. And what's something that's maybe less favorable about the industry?
About the industry or about running a business?
I'd say about the industry, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. I think my first thing that comes to my head is like a lot of people think that there's not enough for everyone. That's the thing. Like a lot of people go, they're doing this. They've got the same niche as me. Oh, it's so competitive. Why would you get into the industry? You're just setting yourself up for failure. There's so many online PTs out there. What makes you different to everyone else? And the fact is, you only limit yourself. And there is not such thing as being competitive, or it's your choice to be competitive. And to see it as a competitive, I guess, business or niche or industry. But the thing is, there is enough out there for everyone. And the people that actually go, no, I don't know if I'm going to start my online business, there's just too many PTs out there. Those people who say that are generally the ones that aren't passionate enough to get started.
Yeah.
So which means you need to find a different industry.
Yeah.
So that's probably my only kind of, I guess, negative, but I like the fitness industry, to be honest. But now that I'm more into accountability and like the business aspect of things, and I guess coaching, I love that. Like I'm obsessed with accountability coaching. I love it.
Let's talk a bit about that. How did you get into it, and what you're actually doing now?
Yeah, so I've always when I was working those really long 16-hour days in the real estate industry and PT and all that, I built so much discipline. I remember just driving and I was so emotionally just destroyed from working so much that I couldn't even cry. That is how like burnt out I was. Wow. I remember just sitting there and I was like, I need to cry, but I can't. I'm just so exhausted. And I was so tired. Anyway, but I was like, every single day I was driving, I was like, I'm learning to be disciplined for other areas of my life. I can do this. If I can do this, I can do anything, and I kept speaking these positive affirmations out loud. And to be honest, I think that's really what got me through it. And I guess the accountability coaching kind of like came into the fact that I was doing coaching, right? So the other coach, it all started with scheduling. So I'm not just a PT, but I do like, the real reason people came to me was because they needed help structuring their dates. And what I do is we rip apart the calendar so efficiently. We set strategies, habits, and the science behind it, routines so successfully that they actually can't fail. And therefore it's sustainable for their lifestyle, the food they're eating, everything is all sustainable. Anyway, so through all the clients I had who were, I was helping with this, like every week would rip apart their calendar because it was completely different, and, would structure their days, or like, what are you doing every hour of the day? And if you don't know what you're doing every other day, you're actually not being productive. That's kind of how I work, right? So the accountability coaching kind of came into that, and people are like, Holly, you're not really an online personal trainer, but you're more like an accountability coach. And I was like, you know what, I am. So that's kind of where I changed my my products around and my model to having a pure accountability program, a wellness program, and then a portal. Every single week my accountability clients, we jump on Zoom. Basically, because I look at health as all aspects of your life, your environment, your relationship, your finances, your business, the food you eat, the exercise, everything is part of your health under one umbrella. So we kind of go, where are you in all those areas? Where do you want to go in the next, 6 to 12 months? What are the weekly, monthly, daily action steps that you need to get there? And we do that every week, because obviously it's a journey. Yeah. And then we go to obviously scheduling your days, kind of like that. And then for this month, I'm really ramping up accountability. So I've gotten my clients have to, before 8 a.m. every single day, message me their 3 MITs, their most important tasks. And if they don't, then I send them a message. I'm like, hey, where's your MITs? I haven't heard from you. And then they have to message me at the end of every day telling me they've completed them.
I love stuff like that. I can imagine it being really helpful, if you're a business person, or you just want to get your life straight, having that, like you say, just accountability is crucial, because otherwise, if you're accountable only to yourself, it's quite easy to go, I'll do that tomorrow.
Oh, 100%. And people go, I'll just do it myself. It won't happen. It will never happen unless you're really disciplined. And if you've never done it yourself in the past, then obviously it's not, you might do it for a few weeks, but then you fall off again because you haven't sustained the habit. And these people, like, to sustain a habit, you need to be pushed, you need to be challenged, you need to be held accountable to even create that habit to start with. Definitely. So I guess that's kind of what we're doing.
I think I already know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Would you still go into this industry or start your businesses knowing everything you know now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I would be an absolute weapon if I knew everything now. I could literally first thing I'd do, actually, you know what, that would be really fun, because I'd know exactly what to do. And like if someone came to me and was like, oh, I want to start my online PT business or something like that, I'd be like, all right, this is what you need to do. Let me give you everything. And it'd be so much fun starting from scratch, but also so much work at the same time. Yeah. So I guess, the first thing I would do, and would I go into saying, I would do it again. But I would, instead of going into fitness space, I'd probably go straight into my accountability space, slightly differently, knowing that I know now. Do love the fitness space, but I just love the accountability. I hope, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Holly, thank you so much for coming on and chatting. It's been really interesting. Love to hear about your story. Thank you for taking the time.
It's okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure. And where can people find you on LinkedIn or anywhere else?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn as Holly Smith. And then you can find me on Instagram, Holly_Smith00. And also my website, www.bizfit, BIZFITT, 2 T's, don't ask why there's 2 T's, .com.
Brilliant. Thank you for your time, Holly.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.